Hi, you guys. Today for dinner, we're going to have lentil soup with naan bread. So right now, I'm going to make the naan bread. So I have the ingredients. In this clear bowl, there's warm water, and then I'm going to add yeast. Make sure all the yeast is out. Now you want to add some sugar. We're probably going to add 1/2 teaspoon. So you want to add sugar, and then you want to mix it. Mix it. So now you want to mix it. I'm gonna put this aside. Now we're going to make the dough for the naan bread. Right here I have flour. We need, okay, so flour, salt, any kind of salt will do. I'm going to use kosher salt, and then we're going to use baking powder. So you want to add baking powder. And then you want to add sour cream. You want to add sour cream and a little bit of milk. So this is sour cream. And milk. And now you want to mix it. Mix until it gets lumpy, and then eventually you'll have to use your hands to mix it. So make sure everything is mixed. And depending if you think it needs more water, you can add more water. While I'm mixing the flour, the yeast is still sitting out for a few minutes. And then you want to add the yeast to the flour mix. So now I'm going to add the yeast to the flour mix. I spilled some. And you want to mix the flour again with the yeast. You want to use your hands to mix this flour. So I think I need to add more water. All-purpose flour. So now I'm spreading the flour on the board, and we're going to knead the dough. Okay. I have the dough right here. Now you want to do this for 5 to 6 minutes until it's all ready. This is a little bit on the dry side because I think I used too much flour. So I am going to add butter to this to make it a little bit easier to work with. Adding butter. Oh yes, this is way better. Oh yes, finally, perfection. It's very soft and getting to the smooth part. You just have to play with so dough can be tricky to make because you either can have too much ingredients or little ingredients. So you have to play with the dough to get to the desired result, right? So for this dough, since I'm making naan bread, you want the dough to be soft and smooth. So by the time you take it out of the fridge, it's ready to work with. So now it's ready to go into the bowl. Right now, I'm going to rinse. I'm going to let them sit in the water for a few minutes. Warm water, let me pour some out. While they sit in the water, I am going to cut some veggies. Right now, I'm going to cut some veggies, which consists of mushrooms, tomatoes, bell pepper, and spinach. So right now I'm cutting up some mushrooms. These are rinsed. So I'm going to cook the veggies on the stove in a pan of butter. And then once the veggies are cooked, I'm going to put them in the pot with the broth, which the broth I'm using is chicken broth as well as beef broth. To make the bread last, because the bread requires to be cooked on the stove instead of the oven. That came out nice. So you want to cut the white pieces that are inside of the pepper and make sure that all the seeds are out. Okay. And then you want to rinse the pepper. All the vegetables to be similar size to each other so they can cook evenly on the stove. in a pan. Because if some vegetables are bigger than the others, the bigger pieces are going to take longer. So that's one of the reasons why you want your vegetables to be similar size to each other. Look how beautiful these came out. All clean. I've never made lentil soup or naan bread. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing the bread right. But this is my first time, and I am not using anybody's recipe. This is my own invention. I just know usually in a bread you need yeast and flour, butter, you know, the typical stuff. But I'm adding a twist to my naan bread, and I'm going to add spinach to it. So I'm using Goya lentils. Come in a can. I kind of wanted the other ones, but we'll work with what we have. Right now, I am going to add mushrooms. So I'm cutting an onion right now. Adding an onion. Half an onion so far. I want to see if I need any more once I mix it. Adding bell pepper. So you want to let the veggies cook. They're just cooking in butter. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of seasoning, nothing crazy. I'm adding paprika. Cumin. And a little bit of red pepper flakes. Then you want to mix it all. This smells good. So I'm gonna add a little more onions. Mix it all up. Chopping the spinach up for the bread. And the potatoes. I added a little bit of leftover mushrooms to put in the soup. So you want to make it as flat as possible, and then you want to roll it. Okay. Flip it on the other side. You have to stretch it out. Make it as flat as possible so when you cook it on the stove, it'll cook quickly. Because if the dough is thick and lumpy, it's gonna take a long time to cook it. Okay? So now you want to. So now you want to spread butter. And then you want to put it on the stove. You want to let them cook for a few minutes. You don't want them to get mushy. Now I'm actually adding marinara sauce to my broth. And now I am going to rinse the spinach. And now I'm going to chop the spinach up. And now you'll add it. This is the soup. Cooking in the broth. So in here is bell pepper, tomato, mushrooms, onion, lentils, and then the broth is chicken broth, beef broth, a little bit of milk, and pasta sauce, marinara sauce.